Hello, and welcome to my walkthrough of my level for the Digital Entertainment Development class. I created a level for Portal 2, and as I go through this little walkthrough, I'll talk about some of the decisions I made and why I made them, and just kind of generally how I feel about the entire process. Just kind of starting out, just looking at the level, I always knew I wanted to make a level that kind of had mini puzzle rooms off to the side. I really enjoy puzzle rooms, and I was very adamant about not looking up other people's levels. I hadn't played Portal since high school, so not for a few years. So everything I was remembering as far as the mechanics go was pretty based on memory and just kind of what I could find on the internet. So I kind of had to go back and replay some of the original game levels in order to get some ideas for the puzzle room sides. But I didn't want to look up any levels that other people had made. I wanted to try to be as original as possible. So when I started making it, I always knew I wanted one long room with the 3 side rooms. And in my earlier concepts, I wanted it to kind of be a Frogger sort of level. I wanted there to be moving platforms that you could jump onto, and with gels and stuff, and then be able to move to each, side to side to each of the rooms. So not only was it a momentum puzzle, but was also a timing thing. But I realized very quickly that the platforms did not move like I had originally thought they did. They didn't move side to side in the way I wanted them to, and so because of that, I had to rework that idea. And how I reworked it was I kind of continued the jumping from level to level, but instead of doing kind of that Frogger sort of hop to just a really small platform, I decided to do just kind of this long base and then having to use momentum in order to get from platform to platform. So I'm going to go ahead and start playing the level. So when you come in, you see these 3 platforms, and when you look down, you're obviously like, oh, there's something here, because this is the only portable platform, and there's stuff, the portable surfaces are also on the floor. So I try to convey that as much as possible so the players knew as an indicator, oh, that will, that's what I'm supposed to do. Then when you come to this first room, I wanted to incorporate each of the different mechanics from the game, kind of the core mechanics. So I really wanted to do a laser puzzle. There's a few different ways you can move the laser in order to get it to open, but you have to get it there. And I did it so you couldn't just move it and then get that open. You have to move this one in order to make that platform go down, and that one to make that platform go down. I also try to be a little less hand-holdy, so in the other side rooms you'll see a little less and less of this antline indicator, just kind of so you figure out what you're supposed to do. And each of those buttons, you have to activate each of those 3 buttons in order to open the final door. And I kept the ant lines there so you knew, oh, obviously I have to do something in there in order to finish it. So go through to the second platform, and again you have to go through the barrier in order to get rid of your portals, and I'll talk about why I had to do this in a minute. There is a very specific reason. So in this room, like, again, I wanted there to be very little that you could, like, just kind of see. Like, you have to explore in order to figure out what's going on. So you have to go and you're like, oh, there's a thing, and then you hear the noise and you're like, oh, there's something over there. Oh, there's a cube. So you have to go get the cube. So let's go do that on the light bridge. And there, when you come down here, you can see the door, and so you're like, oh, that's where I have to go to get the button. Orange. I'm also going to keep this right here. So when you come over here, you see this button going to the door. So you're like, okay, that's what that opens. And I'm pretty sure I gave it the full amount of time. I gave it like a full minute and 30 seconds for you to do this. And so I have not had anyone who has tested the level get stuck. So I didn't think it'd be a problem. So there's not like anything in there to help you get out. So when you come out here, this was why I had to install these, and I just figured I'd do it for each of the rooms to make it a little easier. But this was a way you could cheat the level, was by using the light bridge in order to get to the next platform instead of doing the momentum puzzle. So that's why I have those. I also decided to put this little check mark sort of area right here. Again, there's no indicator, so you don't necessarily know it's up there, but it opens after you press that button. And also it's because one time when I was playtesting, I got stuck in this area and there was no way for me to get up because I could not see the wall. So I figured that'd be a good little safety, and also just oh, I messed up, but I don't want to do platform, so I can just come here. So let's go to the next platform. So in here, I wanted to use the gels because they're really fun, and also because it's such a fun mechanic. So again, in here, this room has the least hand-holding of everything. I wanted players to be able to come in, see that button, be like, okay, I need to get up there, but I have to get the cubes. And then be like, oh, what does this button do? And press it and be like, oh, what does it do? I didn't, there's not a thing. And then turn around and you're like, oh, it opens the door. And you try to run to the door, but you can't. So you're like, oh, I need to get the fast gel. So let's put that down everywhere. So you come over here and you push the button and you run and you grab the cube, you put it down, and then the door closes. And there's a little portable surface inside, which is why I put a light so you could see that, because the door does close very fast, and so there is a way to get trapped in there. So I put a little portable surface in there so you could get out if you happen to get stuck. So now we have to get up to that surface, and these are all blocked off. Like, you can't access those until after you finish the puzzle, because when I was first making the level, before I put the emancipation grids, you could actually see those from the second platform and cheat your way over. And I didn't want people to be able to cheat your way over. That's not, cheating's not fun. And so I decided to make them only accessible once you put push the button. So those just kind of stayed, even though, I mean, technically I don't need them anymore because I have the emancipation grid, so there's no way for players to be able to portal over there. But it was still just something I decided to keep because why not? It makes the room a bit more challenging. So now those open up. And I mean, honestly, you can just do this to get over. But that's just in case you need to in order to get that little platform open. So now the aerial faceplate is ready to work, and again, didn't put very much indication, but that's what that other button does. Like, you kind of do it and you're like, oh, I don't know what that did, unless you pay attention and you see, oh, there's a button symbol, so there's a button that needs to be pressed in order to do that. So we go over here and we see our little turret friends, and honestly I just honestly I just included this because I thought it'd be a little fun firework. Oh, you cleared the level, congratulations, here's a few little explosions. So we have all 3 check marks on, and we have completed the level. Hooray! So again, the level went through a lot of changes because there were definitely points where I knew I wanted to make the 3 puzzle room areas, but I didn't really know, especially at the beginning, what exactly I was going to put into it. The only one I knew I wanted to do was I wanted to do something with gels. And that's kind of why I had to go back and replay the game, because I had no idea what to do. I couldn't remember the way everything worked. I couldn't remember just how most of the mechanics functioned, or how to put them in to make a good game, or a good level at least. And so I am pretty pleased with how it turned out. I wanted to make this level like moderately hard, not extremely terribly hard, but not too easy. And my brother played it, and that's kind of what he expressed, was that he thought it was pretty medium. He was like, for someone like me who's played Portal, I feel like I did pretty good, and it only took him like 20-25 minutes each time. And then my friend Melissa played it once I published, and she said that, like my brother, she thought it was a moderate difficulty, and it took her about 40 minutes to play. So I'm very pleased with how the level turned out. It was a lot of fun to make, and it was a lot of fun to constantly be like, oh, I could add that, or I could add this, or this could go here, so this will be activated, or oh, I need to rethink this because this would allow the player to cheat. So yeah, it was a really fun process, and I'm very pleased to say it's on Steam, and the idea of people playing my level and enjoying it is really, really, really exciting for me. So yeah, that is my walkthrough of my DET project final. Thank you!